In 1999, the Jacksonville Transportation Authority embarked on a study for rapid transit in Jacksonville. The concepts of light rail and busways were studied in addition to other transit methods. Busways emerged as an instant favorite, in large part to JTA's claim that busways could be constructed for as low as $5 million per mile. 2 years later, the JTA conducted their Transportation Alternatives Study designed to select a transit technology. During this study, commuter rail was eliminated because JTA claimed that commuter rail stops must be 5 to 7 miles apart and the rail corridors on the north side failed to serve a plurality of residents. In 2004, the JTA shortened the system from their original endpoints because of rising cost. Instead of phasing the system based on density, existing traffic, or transit ridership, the JTA chose to shorten each route, thereby missing not only key destinations in each corridor, but the system would no longer reach some of the worst congested areas in Jacksonville like Orange Park. The cost of the system was estimated at $611 million. During 2004, JTA also released renderings of each of the lines, some of which featured elevated portions, something that JTA said that they would avoid because of the high cost. The timeline was also established and showed a completion date of 2025. The fact of the matter is that this system has been 8 years of broken promises, going from a citywide transit system for $5 million per mile to a system that will not reach the most congested areas of Jacksonville by 2025 and still cost about $30 million per mile. We've sat back and planned out a network of billion-dollar buses, while cities our size and smaller have planned rail-based systems for far less. The JTA argument for busways over rail-based systems was that busways were cheaper. However, when Jacksonville's peer cities such as Nashville, Austin, Albuquerque, and Charlotte are building rail systems for fractions of JTA's BRT costs, one must wonder, where is the money going? Rising construction costs have pushed JTA's Bus Rapid Transit project to nearly $1 billion. When questions started to arise about the incredible cost of the system, JTA changed their response to, "We don't know," as well as quoting estimates from an 8-year-old federal government study on non-elevated dedicated busways. To this day, the JTA has used the excuse that they do not know enough about their plan to estimate a cost. This is no longer acceptable, especially when they are about to ask the Jacksonville City Council for $100 million from the Better Jacksonville plan to begin this project. Jacksonville doesn't have the density for rail. Soraya Teeple, JTA Bus Rapid Transit Project Manager, December 9, 2007. The Census Bureau does not agree. Memphis, Buffalo, Salt Lake City, New Orleans, Albuquerque, and Little Rock are all cities that are smaller than Jacksonville, already enjoying the benefits of rail. By the same token, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Nashville are all urban areas not as dense as urban Jacksonville, with various forms of rail transit. The Jacksonville Transportation Authority is studying how commuter rail, streetcars, and long-range ferry service could lift the burden from the region's roadways. JTA spokesman Mike Miller said the studies are expected to be completed next year. Meanwhile, the agency is moving forward with plans to build rapid bus corridors. Why spend the $100 million from the Better Jacksonville Plan's Rapid Transit Fund on an inferior transit system before commuter rail and streetcar studies are complete? Many people prefer rail over bus transit due to its increased comfort and reliability. Even BRT advocates acknowledge that rail has a better image. The sophistication and enhancements that morph old bus systems into modern, high-quality BRT is intended to help level the playing field. If rail did not have a better image, rail advocates would be making trains look more like buses. Property within a 5 to 15-minute walk from a rail station typically increases in value up to 25%. That, in turn, stimulates the local tax base through additional sales, property, and business taxes. On the other hand, dedicated busways will have a negative effect on neighborhoods. A half-mile section of exclusive elevated transitway is planned for Riverside, Avondale, and Murray Hill. Other elevated expressway sections are planned for Arlington, the North Side, Brooklyn, and the South Side. New highways aren't compatible with the existing residential neighborhoods they'll pierce through. It's no secret that our planned BRT routes parallel existing rail corridors. Freight traffic is expected to double because of Jacksport's expansion. Ed Castanelli, JTA Engineering Consultant. Why BRT is the better choice for Jacksonville, December 13, 2007. However, CSX plans to move more than 1/3 of its freight traffic off the A line, which runs along US 17 as part of the Orlando commuter rail deal. In addition to the CSX A line from Clay County to downtown, the city already owns the 5-mile S line corridor from downtown to Gateway Mall. Why rush to buy right-of-way for a BRT line that's parallel to this increasingly available rail corridor? Dedicated busway lanes can be turned into light rail in the future. Jacksonville Transportation Authority, December 9, 2007. So we'll eventually pay infrastructure for 2 new transit systems and don't end up with rail next to existing rail with capacity, when we could have just used the existing rail lines in the first place. Houston recently faced the same dilemma. It would cost $600 million less to build rail from the start than build BRT and convert it to rail later. Frank Wilson, Houston Metropolitan Transit Authority President. Maybe we should take the path of our peers and finish our own studies before we rush to take $100 million of private property off of the tax rolls that ultimately may not be needed as part of our mass transit network. On average, $6 of private money is invested along new rail transit lines for every $1 of public money spent. The American Public Transportation Association, the Virginia pilot, December 6, 2007. It's an opportunity for automobile-oriented cities to recreate themselves. Marilee Utter, President of City Venture Associates, LLC, Wall Street Journal, December 6, 2006. Tampa's Tico streetcar has spurred $900 million in new development along its 2.4-mile route since 2002. Portland streetcar has helped bring in $2.7 billion in investment within 2 blocks of its 3.6-mile line. Richard Brandman, Deputy Planning Director of Portland, Oregon, June 26, 2007. Dallas rail lines spurred at least $3.3 billion in residential and commercial development between 1997 and 2005. To say DART's rail impact has been substantial for Dallas region's economy would be an understatement. It's a trend that's impossible to miss. The local business community certainly hasn't. Bernard Weinstein, University of North Texas Center for Economic Development, Forbes magazine, August 7, 2007. On the other hand, here's JTA's take. Transit-oriented developments, which will include retail space, office space, and even residential developments, are the future of Jacksonville. Jacksonville Transportation Authority spokesman Mike Miller, December 19, 2005. Flexibility of BRT makes it more ideal, even with the existing rail lines. You can't just pick up and move rail systems. Ed Castanelli, JTA engineering consultant, why BRT is a better choice for Jacksonville. There's just one major problem. Would you put tens of millions of dollars of private capital at risk next to a station that could be moved if it's bus rapid transit? One of the advantages of fixed guideway, heavy rail or light rail, is that you can make a reasonable assumption that stations will be there 50 years from now or 100 years from now. John Picari, Maryland Department of Transportation, December 18, 2007. Why rush to spend better Jacksonville planned funds on a bus-based system, which is an unproven motivator of transit-oriented development, before our studies of rail-based systems are completed? JTA ruled out rail because trains cost more, but bus rapid transit systems would still have transit stations and park and ride lots like rail. Commuter costs between $3 million and $8 million per mile. It's very inexpensive to start up and very popular. United States Representative John Mica, Republican, Winter Park, January 6, 2006. So who is right? Here are 4 examples of existing or proposed commuter rail systems ranging from $1.2 million a mile to $12.4 million per mile. On the other hand, here an example of 5 bus rapid transit systems all done after the year 2000, ranging in cost from $25 million per mile to $51.6 million a mile. Despite the claims of ignorance regarding the costs of dedicated busways, reality tells us that commuter rail is cheaper to implement. Even JTA's Technology Assessment Report from 2001 says so. If you're looking at a very competitive situation for funds, the best choice is the low-cost alternative. Art Gazzetti, Vice President for Policy at the American Public Transportation Association. How do we know the current bus rapid transit plan, paralleling existing rail, is the most cost-effective solution if JTA doesn't know the true price of their BRT plan and their commuter rail study won't be complete until the end of 2008? Why not save the Better Jacksonville Plan $100 million until studies for all components of JTA's integrated regional transit plan have been completed? In early 2008, the Jacksonville Transportation Authority discussed their intentions for the $100 million from the Better Jacksonville Plan. They intend to build bus fueling depots, storage yards, and purchase land for potential transit stations, with no exact plan on how to connect those stations. This is not what the Better Jacksonville Plan funds were intended for. The land targeted is currently occupied by major shopping centers and office parks. Jacksonville Transportation Authority is a state agency that does not pay property tax to the City of Jacksonville. This will effectively reduce the city's taxable property by $100 million every single year. With an already strained city budget, this could not have come at a worse time. The concept of bus rapid transit is not bad in and of itself. However, JTA's implementation is far too expensive, with estimates ranging from $388 million to $957 million, and upon completion in 2025, it will fail to provide relief to the most congested areas of town. JTA needs to reevaluate their rapid transit plan for this city and propose a system that is more cost-effective, appealing, and creates a positive impact on the quality of life in Jacksonville.